Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another video. Today, my name is Chris, and today we're going to be doing a comparison and contrast and a versus similarities and differences between the Westfield Garden State Plaza versus Roosevelt Field. So buckle up because this video is going to be a very long one. So both malls are both located within the New York City Metropolitan area. Both are pretty close to New York City, whether you take train or bus. Both can be reached by New York City via car or mass transit. It just really depends on what you want to drive to one of these properties. Both, yes, like I said, both are located in the New York City metropolitan area. Some of the properties are, some elements are similar, like they have similar department stores, and some are very different. But both are mega malls located in the New York City metropolitan area. Westfield Garden State Plaza is located in Bergen County, New Jersey, at the intersection of New Jersey State Route 17 and New Jersey State Route 4, along with the Garden State Parkway. Roosevelt Field is located in Garden State, New York, at the intersection of Old Country Road and the Meadowbrook State Parkway, which is a major highway running right along Roosevelt Field. So, the Roosevelt Field Mall opened in 1956. While the Westfield Garden State Plaza opened in 1957. So by comparing and contrasting both malls, we're going to give them points by a couple of factors. Movie theater, restaurant lineup, amount of parking available, and choice of department stores, if I did not mention that, and good mix of stores and what the mall has to offer. That's what we're going to be looking for when we're comparing both of these properties, because it's very important to see which of the two has the edge. Is it going to be Roosevelt Field or is it going to be Westfield Garden State Plaza? Now, I'm doing this, and I'm not going to favoritize one or the other. I'm going to do this solely based on facts, on actual stores that people like, and what makes each thing significant. Oh, and we're going to also judge it by movie theater too, and type of food court. That's also going to be a category. So let's first start off with the big one, and that's department stores. So for a mega mall, department stores is an important key component, especially for a mega shopping mall. This is something, unfortunately, Westfield Garden State Plaza does lag, and it's not the mall's fault personally. They didn't count on the downfall of Lord & Taylor. But for the number of department stores, I'm going to have to give this point to Roosevelt Field, even though, and I'm only doing this for one reason and one reason only. The mall recently lost its Lord & Taylor. It does not have that fourth department store. I mean, that's not to say that Roosevelt Field is going to lose one, but department store choices, I'm going to have to give this one to Roosevelt Field because you have a Macy's, you have a Bloomingdale's, you have a Neiman Marcus, you have a Nordstrom. You also have a mini anchor with a Dick's Sporting Goods. So department store choice-wise, the point's going to be given to Roosevelt Field. So 1 point for Roosevelt Field and 0 points for Westfield Garden State Plaza. But that's not going to last very long because there's some things that Roosevelt Field's not going to have that Westfield Garden State Plaza is going to have. So the tally right now is 1-0. So looking at stores, so what kind of stores do each of the malls have? What makes them special? Which mall has the better stores? And comparing the two, I'm going to have to give this point to Westfield Garden State Plaza. The only reason I'm giving it to Westfield Garden State Plaza is there are a lot of vacancies at Roosevelt Field. Yes, the mall has more department stores, but just because the mall has more department store choices doesn't mean that the mall's interior has good store choices. And that's something, unfortunately, Roosevelt Field is lagging right now, especially in the luxury wing. And a lot of that, too, has to do with Americana and Hassett, but I think Simon really needs to get their crap together, and they own that, too, by the way. Just a quick thing, this is a quick side note. Westfield Garden State Plaza is owned by the Westfield Group, and Roosevelt Field is owned by Simon Property Group. So that's a key difference right there. But there are not a lot of stores at Roosevelt Field, and that is a major problem, especially for the second largest and probably the largest, most profitable mall in New York State. So Simon really needs to get some luxury stores inside of Roosevelt Field, which is something that Westfield Garden State Plaza does not lag at all. There are a lot of luxurious stores available throughout the mall, and the mall even has a dedicated premium fashion district near Neiman Marcus that actually goes into a little bit of Garage B. So that is definitely something that does work. So in case of the stores, Westfield Garden State Plaza, hands down, is the winner. So it's 1-1 right now. Another important category to look at when we're looking at both mega malls, food courts. So obviously we know which one's going to win. It could even be a tiebreaker, but I'm going to give this point to Roosevelt Field. And the reason I say that is because Simon did an absolutely phenomenal job making an open air concept food court. Now, that's not to say the bistro at Westfield Garden State Plaza is, disappointing. They definitely tried their very best to make it feel like, say, something you'd find in a New York City basement, like a cellar. But the thing that the Westfield Garden State Plaza food court lags, and I mean it lags very badly, is a skylight. And for a food court, a skylight is a very important element, especially at a mega mall. So for the food court, I'm going to give this point to Roosevelt Field. So right now it's 2-1. Roosevelt Field does have the advantage at the moment, and that's only because of department stores and food court. So next we're going to move on to theaters. This is not even, this isn't even a decision. The better movie theater is hands down Westfield Garden State Plaza. Westfield Garden State Plaza's AMC versus the AMC Roosevelt Field. First of all, the AMC has 8 more screens. That's number one. Number two, we have at the Westfield Garden State Plaza, which is my local mall, we have a Dolby Cinema and an IMAX theater. So there's definitely a lot more movie theater choices there than at the Westfield Garden State Plaza. So if you're looking for a mega mall with movie theaters, Westfield Garden State Plaza is definitely your mall to be at. So I'm going to give this point to Westfield Garden State Plaza. So right now it's 2-2. So the 2 points for Roosevelt Field, department store choice and food court, and in-store mall choice and movie theaters for Westfield Garden State Plaza. So the tie right now is 2-2. Parking systems for mega malls, especially around the holidays. This is another very, very, very important factor. So unfortunately, this is an area where Westfield Garden State Plaza lags badly. The mall only has 2 parking decks, and they can get backed up very badly during the holidays. The mall, unfortunately, does not have the room or the capacity to add a parking deck. In order for the mall to do that, they would have to knock down an existing parking deck, which I already know which one they're going for next. It's going to be parking deck A, no matter what. But the mall does not have the same capacity to add a parking deck to their mall because it's surrounded by basically a lot, and it would be impossible to do. It would be impossible to fit an additional parking deck in the mall unless say they knock something down and they were actually able to add a parking deck, say like in this area of the mall, which could be a possibility if they can't find a tenant for this spot. Then I would add a 3rd parking deck. But Roosevelt Field has a total of 1. I would say this is probably a combined parking deck. 4 parking decks. So 4 parking decks versus 2. The point for parking decks is going to Roosevelt Field. So Roosevelt Field right now is winning in the categories of parking decks, department store choices, and food court. The layout of the food court, at least, and how efficient it is, especially with the skylights. While Westfield Garden State Plaza is winning in the categories of store choices, movie theater, and what was that other category? I can't even remember. I think right now the score is 3-2. So yeah. Now, if we go into the particular department, and Neiman Marcus, that's where the other point for Roosevelt Field came from. So Neiman Marcus is the better Roosevelt Field location versus the 2. Nordstrom, this is a tough one too. This point is going to have to be given the Westfield Garden State Plaza. The atrium literally blows away the Nordstrom at Roosevelt Field. There's just no other way to put it. It literally gets the point. So I believe right now we're at 4-4. If I'm not keeping track, it's a tie right now. Roosevelt Field has the better Neiman Marcus, the better food court, and they have the good department store system, the best Neiman Marcus out of the 2. the parking deck system, and the food court system, while Westfield Garden State Plaza dominates in Nordstrom store, movie theater, store choice, and that's about it, really. Yeah, so we're 3 to 4 right now. Now, this is where things are going to get really interesting. So I can't really categorize Bloomingdale's, unfortunately, because Bloomingdale's is at Riverside. The Bloomingdale's at Roosevelt Field versus Riverside, not something I can really categorize. So Bloomingdale's in this instance will not be in this because Westfield Garden State Plaza does not have a Bloomingdale's. That's located at the Shops Riverside. So, but anyways, getting back to the regular video. So restaurants in particular, Capitol Grill I'm not going to count because Capitol Grill there's not really much of a difference. The most important one definitely has to be Grand Lux Cafe. So Grand Lux Cafes, this point is going to go to Westfield Garden State Plaza. And the reason being is the Westfield Garden State Plaza Grand Lux Cafe definitely is a lot more open. That is something where Westfield Garden State Plaza, or Westfield rather, did an excellent job on the Grand Lux Cafe and gave them a really nice spot in the mall. So that is something that they have a slightly better than, say, the Grand Lux Cafe at Roosevelt Field. I do like the Paramus one a little bit more. It just, maybe it's because there was more windows and, I'm being maybe a little lenient, but I do like the Grand Lux Cafe, and I've eaten at both. So I've been to both the Grand Lux Cafe at Roosevelt Field and the Grand Lux Cafe at Westfield Garden State Plaza. And out of the two, hands down, it's definitely the Grand Lux Cafe at Westfield Garden State Plaza versus the Grand Lux Cafe at Roosevelt Field. And then, of course, we get to other stores like Zara. Zara's are both about the same, although the Zara elevator versus the Zara Westfield Garden State Plaza, two totally different interiors. While that one's light, Zara at Roosevelt Field is much darker. Forever 21 elevator, definitely Westfield Garden State Plaza in that category. So I know I forgot about the points, but to sum it all up, both malls are exactly the same, just two different property owners. And yeah, no, I forgot about the points, guys. I'm really sorry about that. So when looking at the two are great malls. The two are great destinations. There is a lot to do at both of them. You could spend hours trying to go through them. Roosevelt Field is a Dick's, but Westfield Garden State Plaza doesn't, but Paramus still has a Dick's. It's just not at the mall. So even though they're both in the same metropolitan area, they both have different experiences. They're both mega malls. The better mall out of the two is hands down Westfield Garden State Plaza. Yes, it's hard to believe, but yes, that is the better mall out of the two. The reason, there's several factors. Just because Westfield Garden State Plaza lags in department stores doesn't mean that the mall does not count. The Westfield Garden State Plaza has a lot to do. There's a lot to do on the property. And the movie theater especially is a huge draw for the mall. And department stores nowadays are becoming, it's not that they're becoming a thing of the past, not yet at least, but it's not that they're starting to show their age either. It's just, people aren't exactly spending a lot of time. They want entertainment options. And I think that's something that Roosevelt Field lags deeply. It deeply lags entertainment. And, it's hard to say it's a problem right now, but I do wish that the AMC was definitely bigger at Roosevelt Field. So when comparing the two, definitely Westfield Garden State Plaza takes the edge. There's just a lot more to do. The movie theater definitely is the main reason, but also, the restaurant choices like Shake Shack, that's something you don't have at Roosevelt Field. They lost Bobby's Burger Palace. You got Urban Outfitters, a really nice one. The Roosevelt Field Urban Outfitters, it's nothing to brag about. You have STEM, which is something you don't have at Roosevelt Field. You have a beautiful Nordstrom atrium, something that's not at Roosevelt Field. And even to some extent, the Neiman Marcus, I think at Westfield Garden State Plaza is slightly better. But I've never been inside the Neiman Marcus Roosevelt Field, so I can't even compare that. But out of the two, I think, in my opinion, and this is the final time I'm going to say it, the Westfield Garden State Plaza is definitely better than Roosevelt Field. Upscale stores, the tenants are being filled very quickly at Westfield Garden State Plaza. They don't leave a spot vacant for long. In Roosevelt Field, unfortunately, that is something that is an issue that the mall does have. it does lag tenants. And I know they're trying, and they're really trying, and I get that, but there are a lot of empty spaces, especially in the luxury wing. And luxury wings, too, are also another very important category that we're going to talk about here. Which luxury wing is better? The luxury wing that connects Neiman Marcus at Roosevelt Field, or the premium fashion district at Westfield Garden State Plaza? Which of the two luxury wings is better? I'm going to have to say hands down the Westfield Garden State Plaza premium fashion district is a lot nicer than the luxury wing that connects Neiman Marcus. Plus, the Kone elevator they used in the premium fashion district versus the luxury wing at Roosevelt Field is a better Kone. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Kone, I think I'd take that night Kone in the premium fashion district versus the really awful Kones, say, in the luxury wing. But again, it's not to say I'm not here to bash Roosevelt Field. I think there are some things that Roosevelt Field has that Westfield Garden State Plaza doesn't have, like a good selection of department stores and a food court, which is important for a mall. And Roosevelt Field also has a better parking system than Westfield Garden State Plaza, which is important, which is something that Westfield Garden State Plaza does lack. But I do think that eventually Westfield Garden State Plaza is going to hopefully make the parking situation better. The problem is parking. That's the one thing that I dislike about Westfield Garden State Plaza is they don't have the parking system that Roosevelt Field does actually have. So there are things that both properties lag, but that's a common thing. And obviously, too, I think Roosevelt Field, too, to some extent, definitely was built on a much bigger plot of land, where Westfield Garden State Plaza, they really kind of had to squeeze it in. But they were able to get a lot of square footage of shopping, which is a good thing. That's a very good thing that they were able to do that. So, anyways, guys, that is my video of Westfield Garden State Plaza versus Roosevelt Field Mall. And obviously I've said which is the better one, and you guys can tell me your thoughts in the comment section below of what you think is the better mall out of the two. And if you guys like to see more videos like this, please, 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 please let me know in the comment section below. So anyways, guys, thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that will be it.